Hello, everyone. Welcome to NYC Derailed. We have a small layout here. We're going to be operating in a live session. No, operating session or anything like that. Just going to be running our trains around the layout. We're going to have our cameras on our station module, which you see now, and then also our warehouse module, which is one of the points on our layout where the trains can loop around. We are going to be having two Pennsylvania steam locomotives starting us off tonight. In the forefront there on track number 1, we have the Pennsylvania K4. That is a Bachmann model pulling some nice silver Pennsylvania coaches, and those are Concord kits. And in the back, we have a Broadway Limited
Paragon 2T1, Reading, Pennsylvania.
And that's pulling some of our, I believe, River Rossi maroon Pennsylvania coaches. Beautiful coaches, and really neat engine we just actually acquired. It was on consignment at a hobby train store in Piscataway, Pennsylvania. If you're ever out that way, definitely check out the Model Railroad Shop. It's a great hobby, great owner, very, very knowledgeable. He's been in this business for a very long time. Alright, so we're going to get the K4 started. Send this off. We have our qualms with Bachmann, but this engine is actually a great little engine. It's got good sound. It does not have a smoke unit, but it's a really good running engine. We're very, very happy with it.
I've got a Pennsylvania Railroad steam engine. I'm absolutely in love with their tenders. They're so luxurious and rounded.
The tenders are beautiful. Pennsylvania definitely takes the cake for having these nice elongated tenders that are just beautiful, especially the ones that have the red interiors.
Yes.
They're just beautiful.
And we're setting our Reading train out. Now, I actually was looking through some of the train catalogs, and I saw the Reading T1s. Actually, I was looking for one of those T1 shark noses. So close to buying it until I read all of these reviews that the train itself has difficulty on 22-inch curves, which is kind of funny considering the train itself wasn't very successful for that same reason.
Yeah, you would think that. I have a feeling that the later models, like not the original Paragon, but the later ones, they must have done something, because I think those are supposed to run 22-inch curve radiuses, but I guess the original engine had no articulation, and therefore the model doesn't, so it just doesn't run that great. On our layout, we're pretty much right at 22 at our tightest curve.
Anyhow, I stumbled upon the T1 and it was absolutely obsessive. It's a nice, beautiful, long, Pennsylvania-esque tender. But as much as I love Broadway Limited, I'm also very much cognizant of how expensive it is to get a brand new Paragon 4.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of...
And look, older Broadway Limiteds are fine. I mean, those involve some qualms. I think Paragon 3, there were some smoke unit issues with some of the models. We have one Paragon 3, but it's not plastic, but that was one of the main issues with them. So we're kind of lucky in that sense, but... What happened? Oh, it's just short. Yeah.
That is one thing we're noticing with some of the older Broadway Limited trains, is they have a tendency to short out our layout.
Yeah, it's almost like when they go on uneven track. I know at least for the original Paragon Niagara we have, when it goes on an even track, there's a little screw, and if it touches the bottom of the engine on the back truck, it will short out the layout temporarily. Sometimes it goes over the spots, you hear it short for a second. Other times it gets stuck there. So something's interesting that I don't know why it's happening. Something like that.
It goes to show that there's always room for improvement, and probably when it's kind of far, it's now in Paragon 4.
We should switch over to the warehouse module so you guys can see that. So there we see our, unfortunately we missed the engine, but there you can see our Reading steam engine coming around the bend there.
There seems to be some modernization there, some telephone poles have been installed.
Yes, we've been working on making this part of the layout look a little bit better. It's kind of our first focus for scenery. We have 2 modules that we did as part of the Waters competition that we decided to lash together and create with new modules, our layout. And this area here we think is a nice view, so we're working on adding some hills, trying to break up the scenery a little bit to make it look like different areas even though it's very close together. And so we've got our warehouse there that we're going to use for freight operations. We have it's actually an engine shed in the background, but we actually want to use it as kind of an alternate station on the opposite end of our layout. So it's really cool area. Just today, people worked on painting those mounds, adding some texture to them. We put down some ground texture and added some poles, electricity poles along the road there, and I think it's starting to really make that part of the layout look good.
Did I call them telephone poles?
Well, that's what I think that's what they are called. But add some stuff there so the warehouse is being used. Yeah, that engine's running pretty well.
I am absolutely in love with it. I want to run it all day.
Alright, so we're gonna get, what we like to do is interchange the trains a little bit. And I'm certainly just here in case you need to do something while I'm adding it. We like to interchange the trains a little bit. So I'm gonna get our next model ready on the layout. We should put these together. Oh. I'll put them at the end. And then you can just, the K4 we can leave at the station for now. So I don't know if anybody was fortunate enough, at least in the East Coast, Northeast, have gone to the Reading, Pennsylvania train show. York, oh my gosh, now you get something wrong. So we've heard about it for years, finally decided to go this year. It was about a 3.5 hour drive for us to get there from New York City.
So fun.
A lot of fun. It definitely was O-scale oriented, which I'm not going to complain about. I still have seen all model scales of trains. And listen, we found a good amount of stuff there for mostly being O-scale. So I found a lot of, if you guys have watched the channel, you know how much we've raved about. Despite them probably being, cheaper and older models, the River Rossi passenger cars have really enabled us to get a passenger car fleet together. Without breaking the bank, because as beautiful as they are, the new passenger cars can easily run you, $70 even for some of the basic ones without lighting. So we love getting our hands on some of the older Rossi. They may not be the most accurate prototypical models. They definitely tend to kind of use the same mold and just kind of paint it to match like some kind of a scheme. But we love them. It gives us a good way to springboard the hobby and get a bunch of rolling stock on the layout, passenger cars for our steam engines. So
And now can we actually talk about that, about how ridiculously expensive passenger cars are?
Very.
Like, I absolutely love Walters Broadway Limited, but it almost seems like even some of the older models are running at quite as high a price. You could almost buy a new steam engine, maybe a Bachmann or an older model from Broadway Limited or River Rossi. But yeah, eBay sellers are going crazy. There was a Southern Pacific Daylight in-car going for about $325. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Agreed.
But even some of the newer passenger cars are running upwards of $75 and they're not even lit.
Yo, we're gonna watch the Reading, Pennsylvania consist come around the bend there by the freight house, and we'll switch over to show off the new engine we're going to be adding to the live session. We got past that spot 5 this time. I don't know why it's so funny. Then short.
Yeah. He said it could just be something mechanical. It could be a loose screw that's making contact.
Yeah, stuff like that does happen, especially in the older train. In fact, a lot of the diesels I convert, this is probably my own misfortune, but a lot of the diesels I convert, sometimes the trucks turn a certain way and then they short. Especially if they have like a die-cast chassis, which are kind of the most annoying ones in my opinion to convert to DCC. But they'll turn their trucks a certain way and they'll short, and sometimes they'll run on the track 3 or 4 times no issue, then they'll get stuck all of a sudden, so it definitely happens. Alright, so there we got a good view of that coming around the turnaround there. We're going to go back to the station. And the bottom right there, you will see our New York Central and Century Green. That was an experimental paint scheme. They didn't end up using, but they did paint an E8A locomotive, diesel locomotive, to test it out. So this typically would run an ABA, but I believe they only tested out the A version. Not 100% on that. This is a Rapido. This is a recent release by them. We absolutely love this engine. If you haven't seen it yet, we do have a review up on YouTube. Just go to our reviews playlist on our channel and you'll be able to find that. It's our second review. And it's a great model. It runs really, really well. And then you can see there we got some recently at train shows. We got the the Century Green New York Central caboose. And then the middle New York Central car with the black roof we actually got at the model railroad shop we were talking about in Piscataway, New Jersey this past weekend. Unfortunately, this update does not let trains keep running. Do you want to get that guy off the rail, and then I'll keep running the E8A. So this model does have sound, no diesel smoke or anything like that, but it does have sound. It sounds great. It's got quite a few lighting features on it. It's actually got trackside inspection lights. Again, if you want to see any of this in detail, go check out the review. We show it all off there. Alright, we'll switch over to that warehouse view so you can see it coming around the bend there and get a really good look at it. So beautiful. I wish they had gone with the Century Green paint scheme. Now, you'll notice the box cars, as I mentioned earlier, apparently they did use the Century Green paint scheme for the box cars. They just didn't decide to go with them with the locomotives. My understanding is that they went with a really dark, gray, almost black striped EAA locomotive instead of the Century Green.
Is that for the Empire State Express?
Well, what was it? Didn't the name change after Empire State Express? Maybe it didn't. I thought there was a name change, but yeah, basically it was a later era diesel. Oh no, that's the older one. Maybe it was the Empire State Express.
Yeah, the New York Central Railways had some really nice paint schemes for a lot of their rolling stock. Didn't they have the pacemakers as well?
Yes, so we, again, we recently did a review on the Vanderbilt in the normal gray scheme, but Train World has it in the fantasy red scheme. And it's really enticing because there are red and gray pacemaker cards you can get from Athearn and I think Bachman, I want to say, that match it. And it looks really, really cool. So now I kind of want to get the red and silver, red and white version of the
Vanderbilt Hudson.
Vanderbilt Hudson, yeah. We can't control trains and talk at the same time.
I don't really care if it's prototypical. If it's an enticing, beautiful train, I want it.
Absolutely. Well, I think maybe we should switch out. Do you want to do the Chesapeake and Ohio?
Sure, let's allow our Reading to do one last run. Because I do not want to say goodbye just yet.
Alright, I'm going to get one of your other locomotives queued up. Let's see, what are we going to do? Let me just do this guy.
What I actually like about this train is when we first did a test run, it was doing a really good job crawling at one speed step.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked when you showed me there was one speed step. I could not believe it. It really was like performing better than I thought it would, especially for an older model.
No, I didn't know some of the older manufacturers are coming back into the business. River Rossi is coming out with their line of big boys and what is it, Shays or...
Oh yeah, the big boy, I forgot about that. Yeah, so I'm actually, hopefully this week, I'm sorry if I'm interrupting the trains, I might be shorting up the layout temporarily. I actually just ordered, I don't know when they came out, I think it was fairly recent. But I just ordered the River Rossi Heisler. It's a really cute little engine. I'm hoping to have it here this week and converted by the end of the week, so I'll be doing a review on that. And the following weekend, hopefully doing a live session with that guy running, but it's just a really nice little engine. We are working on adding a second level to our layout that's going to be kind of in the mountains. We have a big trestle bridge we got secondhand at a model train shop. And we thought that having that kind of little locomotive, like logging locomotive, would be awesome for that area. So we are making it though, so that most of our trains, at least, maybe not the big boy, most of our trains should be able to get up to that level and turn around with no issue. But just wanted to have kind of a little locomotive to commemorate it. Oh, they're both on 3.
Oh.
I forgot about that. Whenever we get new locomotives, we forget to reprogram them.
Just get too excited.
You will take it off until you come back around. I was like, why is that moving? So we're adding the locomotive to show off here. You might have just seen a glimpse of it, but I'll talk about it once we actually are ready to show it. In the meantime, I guess I've got this going so that's something going on.
So River Rossi is making a comeback. Well, their tooling was purchased by Hornby, I believe.
Well, I'm confused about the whole thing. I'm not going to pretend to know what's going on. I've seen Hornby's have River Rossi things on their website, and it says like Hornby would buy River Rossi as if they bought their tooling. But it seems as though River Rossi may be releasing stuff, so I don't know. it's great. I'm not complaining. We love River Ross. We have a lot of River Rossi engines, and as I mentioned earlier, we also have a lot of their passenger cars. But it seems like some of these manufacturers kind of have a comeback all of a sudden. I don't know if they just keep their tooling and don't sell it, or what's going on. They don't know enough about it.
Same goes with MTH. Now that I thought they were done with HO scale, and now I'm seeing some new releases.
Yeah, I know. I kind of got the gist that they were going to just continue with the boost scale, and they were kind of being done with HO. I believe they said they were doing some scale trains, which I've never personally reviewed for them. Nothing on it from my side personally. But I saw a recent announcement, and I think it could just be a clearance announcement, I don't know, but it almost gave me the impression that they were going to be selling some HO stuff still, so I don't know what's going on. Alright, we're going to get our last glimpse of the Reading, probably one day coming to the station here, and then we're going to swap it out for another train. Really nice engine. It's got really good chuffing for the smoke, really cool effect, so it's great. This is not a die-cast model. It is plastic, but it's still great nonetheless. Runs great.
I absolutely love that tender. I can stare at it for hours.
Really do love this Century Green. I'm glad we got some more rolling stock in the Century Green library. Alright, we're going to switch over to warehouse view. We're just going to do a quick change of some locomotives, and we'll be back on soon.
Actually really excited to be focusing a little bit more on the layout this week. It's so fun to watch videos and actually put into practice how to make common household things look realistic.
Yeah. There's a lot of, it's kind of hard and it's overwhelming thinking about all we have to get done in a layout, but at some point we've got to do it. And once you get going, it's definitely fun, but it can definitely be overwhelming to think about all the stuff that has to be done for the layout to be finished, quote unquote. But the good thing about this hobby is that it's never really finished.
No.
And it's something you may work on for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Which is not a negative thing at all.
I mean, there's a reason this was a hobby that I believe Lionel advertised as something fathers and sons did after they would come back from work. It isn't a one-day thing.
No, absolutely not. Alright, almost there. We're going to just have our new engine roll on in a second.
I'm so excited.
I think it's on. Alright. Well, here, let it get into view and then we'll do the startup sequence. So this is an MTH Union Pacific gas turbine. We picked this up at the York Train Show. It was definitely a lesson for us in making sure, especially if it's an expensive model, to have it tested. We are not afraid to repair models here. I've worked on a lot of older engines. It's not something that scares me. But when you spend a bit of money and something's broken, it's not the best feeling. So this is definitely a lesson for us. We don't regret getting it, but this is an older model. I believe it was released in 2011, 2012, and the 3 of the 4 drive gears on the axles were split. So we got it home. It looked great, in great condition cosmetically. It may have just been sitting, but it was jerking around and barely would move, and sure enough, those gears were split. So luckily, we know how to do 3D printing, and after a few trials and errors, we got some gear sets printed that work decently. It's a little bit jerky, you'll see it, but it definitely runs. They haven't split or anything. Trying to work on getting actual replacements, but it gave us a way to run the train in the meantime. As long as it's at a constant speed, it runs pretty well, so not going to complain there. But just a lesson in, if you're spending a lot of money, spending any money, but especially if you're putting a lot of money down on an expensive model at a train show, I'm not saying people are out to get you. I don't even know if this particular seller knew it didn't run. He said he had tested it. Who knows how long it had been since he tested it, if he did. But just double check, because it's not like a normal store where you can go back and ask for a refund.
Yeah.
You kind of have to swallow that you spent money on possibly a broken item. So
Same goes for eBay.
yeah, absolutely. eBay always scares me. I've gotten a lot on eBay, but yeah, I just always tell myself, well, if it's broken, I'm willing to fix it. As long as I'm not spending not a lot of money on it, it doesn't bother me too much. But so yeah, we will do the startup sequence for this, which is F3. One of the things I do love about this is our first diesel that has a smoke unit in it, and I would say that MTH and Broadway Limited are kind of the top dogs as far as HO scale smoke units. They have fan-driven smoke units for the steam engines. They chuff really nicely, and for the diesels, they really blow it out. So this is a gas turbine, so this has a very high velocity exhaust, and when it comes closer to the screen after it goes around, you'll see it. But one of the cool things about this that really drew me towards it is it's got a very big exhaust, and it produces a lot of smoke. That's a good speed to leave it at, I think. Or a little faster. It does better if it's going a little faster. Oops. So we're doing, we don't have a ton of rolling stock, so we're doing kind of short consists here for our diesel engines. If you've seen our Big Boy live or any videos with Big Boy, we made that pull a lot of cars and it does not even struggle. But tonight we're definitely cutting our rolling stock consists in half so we can have rolling stock to run with each of our diesels. It is really, so this is, so we have, again, if you've seen our lives or any of our posts, you've seen that we have MTH subway sets, which we absolutely love, but this is our first non-subway MTH HO scale locomotive. So it's kind of cool. I know the steam engines we've had our eyes on, but yeah, it's our first MTH train that is HO and not a subway set.
It's so sad that for a while they weren't making any HO. I would absolutely love to get more MTH trains. They're just so expensive when you try to look for them.
Yeah.
This was a nice find. I love it.
Yep. And the base is articulated. I don't know how realistic that is. I'm not an expert on this engine by any means, but it handled our curves fairly well. We haven't really had any major issues with it.
I mean, it's running so smoothly. If any of you had a chance to see some of our previous lives, this engine was so jerky.
Yeah, it's running pretty good. I almost think the gears need to be run in, but who knows? I mean, I probably should get more solid replacements, but I wanted to see it run. I was excited. Came back from the train show and kind of bummed that it wouldn't run, so I wanted to do some 3D printing. It was quick enough with a resin printer, about 30 minutes, and it works. It's not the most efficient or smooth gearing, but it works. So
It's moving like butter.
yeah. Oh, you had to say it.
I had to jinx it.
That's just an issue with our points. Some of them are not electrified yet, so. Alright, we're going to switch back over so you guys can get a close-up of this and hopefully see the smoke unit. Now, even if smoke units are really good, sometimes they're hard to see on background, so if you can't see it clearly with our light background, do not hold it against the engine. It's just sometimes you have to have the right background to really be able to see the smoke units.
And the camera can only pick up so much detail.
So there, hopefully you're going to see how much smoke is coming out of that, and how it's not a fan, so it really blows it. It's a really, really cool effect.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Alright, so we've got one more locomotive we're going to show off. Before we end the stream tonight. So we're going to swap out our New York Central, unfortunately. And I love running that engine. We're going to swap that guy out, and we're going to be putting another engine on the layout to kind of wrap up our life. So just bear with us. Just go ahead. I'll deal with these.
No, awesome.
Let me just get it past you, and then you can go ahead and set that up.
Assistance here would be great.
What happened? I said let me... There's a reason I said that. I said let it run past you and then set up. Yeah, we need to get more staging tracks on our layout. That's something we do not have. So we have to kind of swap things out in lightning speed. And sometimes it leads to trains crashing into each other.
I'm still pretty new to this, so...
Actually, you know what? We'll tack on the. I don't want the posters on. We use our station as a little storage track. Get this guy moving again. It's got a really nice horn, really nice sound system. And something I forgot to mention is that MTH gas turbine is actually a dual motor engine, which is the first for us, I believe. And yeah, that's the first for us in HO scale. Even the big boy, it has a really big motor, but it's a single motor. This one actually has two separate motors. A lot of what you see in O scale and YNL driving each of them. I think it's 49.
And not 497?
No, I don't think we programmed it with its full address. Alright, so here comes our final train. I'll let you talk about it.
We've got our Broadway Limited Chesapeake and Ohio.
That starter's got a great smoke in it.
I'm getting a big whiff of smoke back here.
It is a beautiful train. Unfortunately, we do not have really matching coaches for it yet, so we matched it up with what we had that looked the best with it, which is our New York Central coaches that are corrugated with like stainless steel works in them.
It's one thing that I'm noticing. It's very difficult to find Chesapeake and Ohio passenger cars that kind of match that stainless steel corrugated look. I know Walters has a few sets. They're kind of the chessy blue and yellow with a little bit of stainless steel.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've not been able to find like the matching coaches for them anyway.
I believe this is a Hudson class as well, no?
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of streamlined Hudsons, that's for sure. Well, they're producing a lot of smoke. They're passing each other. It's something you guys can't see on the screen. We have a point where the tracks get very close to each other in both directions, and those two engines right next to each other produced a lot of smoke.
Folks, if you've watched some of our lives before, any of our videos, we absolutely love steam era engines, diesels, but we have a special place in our hearts for streamlined trains.
Absolutely. We've got the Empire State Express, the Dreyfus Hudson, the Vanderbilt Hudson, the K4, the Milwaukee Road Hiawatha. What am I missing? Anything? Oh, we have the J class. From
Oh, the
Pennsylvania
Norfolk
Railroad.
and Western, yes, and the K4 Pennsylvania Railroad, yes.
Alright, I'll switch over to where else you guys can see a good view of that coming around. That is a beautiful model. It's brass hybrid, right?
Yes.
Brass hybrid Garvey limited model. This is Paragon 3. One of our recent, more expensive purchases. But it's a beautiful, beautiful model.
I love the color too. It's a beautiful shade of yellow.
It is. Look, I popped those. It's not.
Stop it.
So much smoke. That might produce more smoke than the gas turbine, actually.
I think so.
It's very, very thick.
It is motivated to run today.
Sometimes the whistles get stuck. I honestly think it's we use Leaf Throttle, and sometimes that app does some weird things with the whistles. Oh, so strong station. Looks like I got it in. So we're gonna have both the trains come into the station. Just to wrap up our live.
Got a nice cloud of smoke back here.
There, I think we need to add some ventilation down here. It's
Good thing it smells like Christmas time.
Yep.
That's a good question for anybody who does watch this live or recorded. If you like to run smoke fluid in your engines, what is your favorite brand and what is your favorite flavor? There's quite a few interesting flavors out there. Right now we have Christmas pine, but there's some, I know there's a hot chocolate. There's all sorts of cool ones you can find.
Movie theater popcorn.
Yeah, that one was interesting. It smelled just like it too. I just don't think I'd want to smell that for hours while running trains, but definitely a cool smell.
I'd love to eat popcorn while running trains.
Perfect timing. Alright, well as always, thank you for anybody who watched live with us. And if you're watching this as a recording, welcome to the channel. If you liked what you saw and want to see future lives or any reviews, please like the video and also subscribe to our channel, NYC Derailed. And if you click the bell icon, you'll be notified of any future live sessions or any new videos we post going forward. Thank you all and have a good night.